The president's been briefed on military options. What is the U.S. willing to do to help?
Certainly, the president has been very outspoken about wanting to have freedom and rule of law and capitalism and great relations with the United States return. So we'll see. I think his moral support has been strong. Certainly, he's taken a strong stance against the mullahs in Iran in disabling their nuclear program. I think the people in Iran are rising up because they feel there's a strong America that has their back. I won't go into any specifics there, but we wish them well, and we'd love to see a free and democratic Iran again.
Will there be more interdictions of vessels carrying Iranian oil? Any more activity on that front?
I won't reveal any change in position there.
Okay. Let me ask you about Venezuela.
Yes.
Where you have been very focused and very central to the president's policy. The president said that Venezuela now is the United States, the most powerful military in the world, to protect them. And to protect them, we will. Is the United States military providing security guarantees for American companies?
We're not doing that right now, but what he means is we're changing the game for what's happening in the ground in Venezuela. Venezuela has purchased $20 billion of Russian weapons. They got Cuban mercenaries there. They supply oil to Cuba. They harbor the Hezbollah's headquarters for the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela has been a very dangerous, very destabilized place going down the tubes. And with the United States' influence now by controlling the sale of their oil and therefore the flow of funds into the country, we think we will see relatively rapid change, improvement on the ground in Venezuela. This is a process. We're only 8 days into the process, but it's off to a strong start.
Well, it's off to a quick start. You had the oil executives at the White House just Friday. That the president, or excuse me, the State Department yesterday had a security alert I want to ask you about because it specifically cited the risk to Americans in Venezuela. And it said armed militias are setting up roadblocks, searching vehicles for evidence of U.S. citizenship or support for the U.S. The man who runs those militias is Diosdado Cabello, who is the Minister of the Interior. Is he ordering the hunting of Americans?
Not that we are aware of, but we should be cautious. Look, this is, as they say, 8 days into a change of leadership there. The interim authorities are trying to establish power. Collectivos have been running wild over Venezuela for over a decade.
Right.
So, yeah, you're not going to...
Well, he controls them.
He does.
So is he safe in his position? Because right now the administration seems to be working with him.
We need to work with the people that have the guns today to ultimately move the country to a representative government and a better station. But what you've got to prevent in the meantime is a collapse of the nation. And I think the strong moves we're making right now is to influence the people with the guns today, which is part of a process.
And you're not concerned he's going to undermine the more business-minded President Delcy Rodriguez?
Oh, of course we're worried about things like that. We need to get stability among the leadership in Venezuela. So, yes, of course we're concerned about those things.
So tell me broadly, is the Trump administration's goal here to acquire the state oil company PDVSA and to run it? Are you going to put Americans on the board? How's this going to work?
Well, again, it's a process. The first thing to do is to reduce the damage to the United States, the inflow of guns and criminals and immigrants and drugs into the United States, the destabilizing of a key part of the Western Hemisphere. We need to stop that. That's why we've entered into Venezuela. Certainly part of the way to improve Venezuela and to improve the Western Hemisphere and improve the lives of Americans is to get their very corrupt, 25 years in decline oil industry back going again.
Does that mean the United States government's going to run it? The president says we're going to run the country. Are we running this as a American state-owned oil company, essentially?
No. Today, we are running the sale of their crudes. You know, we have a quarantine around their ability to ship oil outside of Venezuela. All of that goes through American crude marketers, and then that crude goes out into the market. We collect those funds and bring them back to Venezuela to better the lives of Americans and Venezuelans. But in the long run, what will happen with Venezuelan oil resources? Yeah, of course, quite likely you'll see American companies, expanded presence there. You'll see growing production. Of course, you're going to see more American involvement in there. But exactly how that's going to work, that's going to unfold over time.